This is Marco Polo Bridge, southwest of Beijing, first built in the Jin Dynasty, 1189, complete at 92. It's about 900 feet long, I think, 876 feet maybe. There's a total of 501 exquisitely sculpted stone lions, each one slightly different. Europeans name it Marco Polo Bridge. Morning moon over Lugu is a famous 8 views of Yanjing, commemorated by Qianlong and Kangxi. July 7th, 1937, the Marco Polo Bridge incident shocked the world when all-out war between Japan and China started. And the museum we just went to, where we spent 4 hours over in the walled city there, which is where they invaded after they stormed over the bridge. The Japanese had an excuse and said, one of our soldiers is lost, which is a pretext for not seeming aggressive. But their colonial expansion goes all the way back to the 1890s and the Meiji era against China. Songqian River. The water's so murky, looks black, therefore it's called Lugu. In local dialect, Lu means dark or black, and Gu means ditch. That's like Dublin means dark pool in Viking. In Dublin. That's why Dublin got its name, on the Liffey River. Marco Polo Bridge is located on Yangding River, 20 kilometers southwest of Beijing. Take line 14 to the terminus out here, and then bus 624, and it drops you off south of the walled city, and you walk up 10 minutes at most. So this was the path if you wanted to get through the North China Plain, huh? From Yan and Ji, former names of Beijing, through the Taihong Mountains to North China Plain. Pontoon bridges could no longer serve political, military, economic needs in the Jin Dynasty. Emperor Zhangzong gave orders that a stone bridge be built, complete at 1192, called Guangli Bridge. So that's why Marco Polo came here, I guess, for the stone lions. 10 piers, 11 openings. There was a bridge in Suzhou, I didn't go to it, the Precious Belt Bridge, that had like, I don't know, 60 arches in it. But it was so far out of town, I didn't bother with it. 91 archaeology. Iron bars holding the stone slabs. Flagstones. Marco Polo caused a stir in Europe when he wrote his accounts of his travels in Asia. He mentions Lugu Bridge as follows. On the river there is a bridge so beautiful that there is hardly any bridge in any other place that can rival it. Engineering is perfect. It is a bridge unequal in the world. So that's why they call it the Marco Polo Bridge. 4 characters on the east side. Morning moon at Lugu. Emperor Kangxi. Yangding River, right? Qianlong. Bishi tablet on a plinth. Bishi is the tortoise animal that holds up the stele. War Resistance Museum nearby, blah blah blah. They close at 5:50. This is a Bishi on the bottom of the stele here. You see a lot of these at the Confucian Museum in Beijing. Tablet of Kangxi. When he visited, Kangxi was a grandfather of Qianlong, both of the Qing dynasty. And they were real big on visiting places and writing commemorative poems. and creating official views. Lugu Morning Moon, Stone Tablet. So, when you go to Hangzhou, for instance, they have all these classic views of Hangzhou. And they have little stelae and pavilions commemorating the view from each one. And they're all 4 characters long. Some of them are for bridges, some of them are for pagodas on top of the mountain, some of them are for the willows, the orioles singing in the willows, that sort of stuff. Those people out on the ice there. I should take some pictures, it'll probably be too dark on the way back. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. So we came over that bridge on the bus. And they're all a little different if you look at these lions, or foo dogs. Usually the foo dog has 1 of 2 things under its paw. If it's got a pup, it's a female. And if it's got a globe of the world, it's a male. But there's going to be lots of variation in these. The reconstruction was in 1689? No. I wrote it down, actually, because it was such a long subway ride. I don't think there was anything in the Lonely Planet about this, but the DK had a little blurb on it. 1698 reconstruction. Yeah. Lugu Xiaoyue. They changed the metro last night. Buses, instead of 0.4 RMB, are now 1 RMB. And instead of a flat fee for your trip, it's by distance. So I maxed out the 22-kilometer distance and paid 6 yuan for my trip here. That's what was explained to me, and it was 6 yen, but I think, as told, it was 22 kilometers is the max. You pay 6 yuan now. I think it's somewhat discriminatory to charge by length and not distance when you have massive suburbs, because the poorest people live the farthest away and they're the ones who can afford to pay the least for their commute. And as far as I understand it, there's no monthly pass. You have to pay as you go. So it can be an economic burden on the poor class. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. It was clear out today. We actually had some blue sky. I should have gone to the Great Wall like the first or second day I was here when it was really nice out. Because you don't get that many days, you know, even in the winter in Beijing. If you're going to go to the Great Wall, if it's a nice day out, even if you get a late start, go for it, because you don't know what it's going to do the next day. It might be nice weather, it might not be raining, but you might not be able to see the sky either. Which, if you're going all the way out to the Great Wall, you want at least to be able to have a view of the wall going through the mountains that as you walk on it, and maybe look back out around the surrounding hills. There's the train up there. That looks like a high-speed one. I've been on inner city trains that go at least 300, 330 kilometers an hour in China. And I've been on the maglev in Shanghai that goes to the airport from Longyang Station. And if you time it right, they only do a couple trips a day in the morning and afternoon at 420 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest I've ever traveled on land on the maglev. and your relative speed on that thing, if another one passes you, because they've got 2 tracks for each direction, your relative speed is going to be like 860, because I think I actually maxed out at 433 kilometers an hour. So your relative speed is getting close to Mach 1. Or actually, I guess it's kilometers an hour, and Mach is miles per hour. So what would it be? Probably over. I started watching that series, Marco Polo, when I was home last weekend. I had a weekend of transition and run data backups between my month in Tokyo and coming here. So I was watching maybe the first 5 episodes of that series. It was somewhat interesting. A lot of nonsense martial arts stuff thrown in to make it interesting, and sexual intrigue. But shows some of the key players, Kublai Khan, Marco Polo, the Jin dynasty in China at the time. So if nothing else, it makes you aware of who's contemporary, that the Jin was contemporaneous with Kublai Khan, and that Marco Polo was in the court of Kublai Khan, not of Genghis Khan, There's also a really big park to the north of here, but I don't think we have time for it now. It'll be closed. I spent 4 hours at the military museum. Stone tablet about Emperor Kangxi inspecting the Yangding River. So they do these inspection tours. I should show you where we are in relation to Beijing proper, huh? Red Square, Tiananmen Square. Forbidden City are up here. So we down here. How far are we between the two? 13 miles maybe. Said 20-something kilometers, I think, at the museum. Which is why it was such a big deal for Japan to march on what was then Piping. And not, so if I exit here, then that's it, huh? It's the exit. Lugu Bridge History Museum. Back that way. So I have a little museum here as well.